Okay, so are you ready to dive into some Colleen Hoover?
Always up for a little Hoover.
This time we're tackling It Starts With Us, the sequel everyone was clamoring for after It Ends With Us.
Oh, absolutely. That book really hit a nerve with readers.
It sure did, especially on TikTok. But this sequel, it had some big shoes to fill. What do you think sparked that demand for Lily's story to continue?
Well, I think it ends with us left people wanting more for Lily. Readers really connected with her. They wanted to see her find happiness after everything she went through with Ryle.
It's like needing that reassurance that your friend's doing okay.
Exactly. And Hoover delivers that.
We jump a year into the future,
Hmm.
and Lily's got a lot on her plate. Running the flower shop, being a single mom to Emmy.
And dealing with Ryle's, well, lingering presence.
Hoover doesn't shy away from showing how complicated that new normal is for Lily.
No, she doesn't. It's clear that Ryle, trying to stay in the picture, even after the divorce, creates this underlying tension.
And it's interesting how Hoover portrays co-parenting in a situation where there's a history of abuse.
It's definitely complex.
It's almost as if Ryle believes if he just ignores the reality of their separation, it'll magically disappear.
Right, like those unannounced dinner drop-offs will somehow make them a happy family again.
Exactly.
There's this unspoken manipulation in the way he acts.
Oh, for sure.
He constantly reminds her that he's the one paying for her apartment. And he's always questioning her judgment, chipping away at her confidence.
Like when he gets all suspicious about who she's texting. Come on, we all knew it was Atlas.
Right. We saw that coming from a mile away.
Speaking of Atlas, he's back, and I think I hear readers everywhere swooning. What do you make of how he comes back into Lily's life?
Oh, Hoover knows how to build anticipation. He's not that troubled teenager seeking refuge in her garden anymore. He's a successful chef now, but he's still carrying the weight of their past and the guilt of not being there for her.
It adds such depth to his character, that internal conflict.
Absolutely.
And then he shows up at her shop with, "Why are you avoiding me pasta?"
Oh my gosh, yes.
The man knows the way to her heart.
Ah.
And poor Alyssa trying to cover for them with that chicken bear badula meat story.
I love how Hoover uses those little bits of humor to kind of like diffuse the tension, even if it's just for a second.
Right.
But it also highlights Lily's apprehension. As much as she might want to be with Atlas, she's cautious.
Understandably so. She's been hurt before.
And then there's Ryle's reaction, even though he doesn't know it's Atlas's pasta. Talk about possessiveness.
Exactly. Ryle's need to control everything is a constant reminder of why their relationship was so toxic.
It's like he can't let go.
And remember how Lily keeps that list of his abusive actions hidden in her jewelry box?
Oh, that's such a powerful symbol.
It's like a physical manifestation of the scars he left on her.
And her tattoo, too.
Yes.
They both represent her journey. It's not just about the pain, but also her strength in moving forward.
And it's interesting how Hoover uses these physical objects to represent those internal struggles.
It makes them more tangible, more real.
So Lily's taking things slow with Atlas, which just makes their connection even more intense. Remember that scene in the closet?
Oh, the longing in that
You
scene.
can practically feel it leaping off the page.
Hoover is a master of building that slow burn, that tension. Atlas wants to jump right back into their relationship, but Lily needs to find her footing first.
And that's where those old journals come in,
Oh, yes. Another layer to their reunion.
giving us glimpses into their shared history, their vulnerabilities.
They really add a whole other dimension, don't they?
Absolutely. And it's not just the reminiscing. It's like their past is finding its way back into their present.
Totally. And there's this interesting role reversal happening. Lily was Atlas's safe haven, remember? And now he's the one offering her that same stability.
She even says he has the kind of life she craves, that grounded stability.
Which is something she desperately needs at this point in her life.
And he remembers everything, like
Yeah.
when she was sick and he took care of her.
Oh,
She realizes she loved him even back then, even though it took her years to admit it.
it just shows you how deeply he feels for her. While she was trying to figure out her own feelings, he held on to that love for years.
It makes their reunion even more powerful because they've both grown so much.
Their second chance at love feels earned.
It does.
Yeah.
They're falling for each other again. That's so clear. But it's different now, more mature.
Definitely. They've both learned from their pasts.
And just when you think they're headed towards their happily ever after, Hoover throws in this curveball.
Oh, you mean the whole mystery vandal thing with Atlas's restaurant?
Exactly. What do you think about that little twist?
Well, it's not just some random act of mischief, is it? It kind of mirrors Atlas's own past a little. Remember how he used to find refuge in that abandoned house before he met Lily? The vandal is a teenager, too, struggling, finding comfort in Alice's restaurant.
It's like a ghost from his past has come back to haunt him. And then we find out the vandal is Josh, Atlas's brother.
Talk about
It
unexpected.
totally blew me away.
It adds a whole other layer to the story, doesn't it?
For sure. Suddenly, Atlas has this brother he never knew about.
Yeah.
And Josh is dealing with their neglectful mother and absent father.
It raises all these questions about family, how even when it's messy, it still matters.
And their mother, Sutton, she's something else, shows up demanding Josh's return, but it's obvious she cares more about appearances than his well-being.
Oh, absolutely. And blaming Atlas for Josh's actions. Unbelievable.
It's heartbreaking, really. Josh just wants a stable home,
Yeah.
a sense of belonging.
That's all he wants.
And Atlas, despite his own rough upbringing, he steps up, offers Josh that same refuge Lily gave him all those years ago.
It's actually quite beautiful when you think about it, the symmetry.
It is.
And it shows how powerful empathy can be.
It really does.
Yeah.
Atlas sees himself in Josh, and instead of perpetuating that cycle of neglect, he chooses a different path.
He chooses love.
So there's this scene where Atlas takes Josh to meet their dad, Tim.
Oh, man. That was rough.
Awkward doesn't even begin to describe it. Tim's living this rundown place, barely acknowledges Josh.
It's like he's not even there emotionally.
Totally, like a ghost haunting what's left of their family.
And for Josh, it's this huge turning point. He's been holding on to this idealized image of his dad, and then, bam, reality hits.
It forces him to really confront his own identity,
Mm-hmm.
that longing for a connection he's never had.
And the way Atlas handles it, so well done.
He doesn't lie to Josh, but he doesn't crush his spirit either. He just lets Josh feel his feelings.
He lets him decide what kind of family he wants to build for himself.
Exactly. It shows how much Atlas has grown up, how mature he's become.
He could have walked away from all that family drama so easily,
Right.
but he chooses to embrace it, offers Josh that love and support he's been craving.
It's like he's proving that love can conquer anything, even a lifetime of pain. And Josh chooses him right back.
Oh, I know. That part where they're driving away from Tim's and Josh asks if he can give him the middle finger.
I laughed out loud.
Classic Hoover. Finding humor in the darkest places.
And then Josh says he wants to make a new family tree, one that starts with him and Atlas.
Chills. Every time.
Such a powerful statement. He's breaking free from those toxic patterns.
Creating his own family on his own terms.
So you've got Lily trying to navigate Ryle, and Atlas figuring out this whole brother thing.
Both facing huge challenges.
But they find strength in each other.
Your connection is the one constant.
And through it all, their love story is still unfolding.
Because of course it is.
That scene where they finally spend the night together at the restaurant, so much more than just physical intimacy.
Oh, definitely. It's about finding solace in each other. A sense of belonging after years of feeling lost.
And that little detail about Atlas having a spare toothbrush waiting for her,
My heart.
it speaks volumes.
It really does. He's held on to that hope for so long. Always kept a place for her in his life.
It's a tiny detail, but so powerful.
It really is. It makes you believe in their future together, as hard as it's been to get there.
But we're talking about a Colleen Hoover book here. It can't be smooth sailing all the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be a Colleen Hoover book without a few more bumps in the road for Lily and Atlas.
That's for sure.
Ryle's jealousy, it just explodes. That confrontation with Atlas at the restaurant, intense.
Talk about a showdown. It really highlights the contrast between them, doesn't it?
Totally. How they handle their emotions, so different.
Atlas has this quiet strength. He's willing to be vulnerable,
And Ryle, he just goes straight for aggression, trying to control everything.
It's really a study in toxic masculinity.
And when Ryle punches Atlas, it's significant that Atlas doesn't fight back.
So powerful, right? He
Yeah.
refuses to be dragged down to Ryle's level.
He understands that cycle of violence, how destructive it is.
He's breaking the pattern, choosing respect, self-control.
It shows how much he's grown, how committed he is to having a healthy relationship.
Exactly.
But even with all that drama, Lily and Atlas still find those little moments of joy. Remember that scene where they steal a kiss in the shower at the restaurant?
After she surprises him at work, oh yeah, electric.
Their chemistry is off the charts.
It's like proof that love can bloom anywhere.
Right. They find comfort in each other, this passion, even in the middle of chaos.
And that's what makes their story so compelling.
It does. Then there's that letter Atlas writes to Lily.
Oh, my heart.
He finally opens up about his childhood, everything. His mom's cruelty, his dad abandoning him. So raw.
It's heartbreaking, but it also brings them closer.
It really does. But the way he tells it, he's not dwelling on the pain. He's thanking Lily for being there for him.
He's grateful for her.
And when he says, "You're my favorite person, Lily," and now you know why? Tears.
Every time.
Every.
Single time.
It's a love letter, but it's also about how powerful human connection can be, how Lily helped him heal.
She gave him the strength to overcome his past, to become the man he is now.
And then their wedding.
Oh, so beautiful.
Promises, vows. Amazing. He would have taken a 50-50 chance on their love just to be with her.
Talk about commitment.
And that little P.S. at the end, "It is my wish for you to be my fish."
Perfect. The callback to Finding Nemo?
They found their way back to each other. It's beautiful.
It really is.
Even Lily's mom, she finally admits she had a little thing for Atlas back in the day.
I know.
Her last line, though, "He gives more than great hugs."
Classic Hoover. Humor, but also genuine warmth.
It's a nice way to wrap up their story.
It is. Lily's finally broken free from that cycle of abuse.
She finds a love that's passionate, supportive.
A love that lets her thrive.
It's inspiring. So what resonates most with you about It Starts With Us? What's the takeaway?
It's a story about resilience, about second chances, and the incredible healing power of love, of truly connecting with someone.
It's about finding the strength to choose healthier relationships, even if your past has been painful.
Hoover reminds us that vulnerability, opening yourself up to love, that's where the most fulfilling journeys begin.
Beautifully said. And that's a wrap on It Starts With Us. Let us know what you thought.